Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Good evening and welcome to the Vic Akers Wonderland podcast, episode 9. Not been a great week in the men's, but we're still in Europe. We're still in the Champions League. So, got all that to come, which is very, very exciting. As always, I am joined by Adam and Matt. How are you, Matt?
I'm good, thank you. I'm surprised that you came to me first this time after take 2.
Take 3, is it now? Or take 4? I've lost count now.
Yeah.
That's good. It's always nice to have a bit of a fun laugh with friends, and I'm looking forward to talking to everyone tonight.
Definitely. The main reason I came to you first, Matt, because Adam was frozen on this screen, and he was just sitting there smiling. I was like, yeah, well, I'll go to Matt first, and I'll come back to Adam because he froze again, and I'm really hoping he's not frozen. How are you, Adam?
I'm hoping I'm unfrozen now. I'm afraid I'm in the hotel once again, so I may freeze temporarily from now and then. So, but hopefully I can stay on long enough to get this done. Tired, as I said, in the fifth take. From last night's late shenanigans. Bit of a downer, but I think a bit of a blessing in disguise. And maybe on the men's side, it might be one of these results we think if we do win the league, we'll look back at that defeat and think, yeah, that was helped us towards on the way to winning it. But there is one more European competition to be played in, and our Arsenal women are in it. We are the quarterfinals, and that's coming up. It returns next week, which I think we're all very excited for, and looking forward to having a bit of a chinwag about it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, other news before we crack onto the Champions League. One certain ex-Arsenal player has returned. Got a message. No, as much as I loved that, unfortunately not. Someone on this podcast got very, very excited, and Adam, you did steal his thunder, so I'm going to let Matt announce this. Matt, who has returned?
So Will's very own Jodie Taylor.
Hey, no. What does it mean for her to be back, do you think? Well, what does it mean to you? Because I know you're very, very, very excited for her to be back.
Well, when I started watching the England Lionesses play, she was one of the players that was coming up and coming, or she was getting through and playing most of the time, apart of Frank Kirby in the 2015 World Cup with Frank Kirby. A few years later, stepped back forward. Jodie Taylor, she was very great at what she was doing. She was putting balls in the back of the net in the 2017 Euro Championship, and she was just so effective doing that, as well as being able to provide different options. She wasn't just a winger. She was, first of all, she's an out-and-out striker, but she also has the experience. She's gone over to Australia. She's gone to America. She's been basically everywhere, all over WSL, the NWSL, the American League, Australia. She knows Steph Catley quite well, and they've got a very odd nickname for her. I think, is it Porky? Something, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a very odd one, and we're still waiting the response as to why Steph Catley calls her that.
There's always got to be a funny story behind that, surely.
What was that, Adam?
I think it's something like Shanky or something. The supporters club shared it out. It was there must be a story behind it, and hopefully we'll find out as the rest of the season goes on. Yeah,
no, definitely. I mean, it's now confirmed Stina's had an injury. So, what do you think, Jodie Taylor? Yeah, that is what Twitter's telling me. Stina's been injured the last couple of games, so that's why she hasn't started. or she's
So I
got a
heard
niggle somewhere, from what I'm hearing.
So I heard she was ill. I heard there was an illness issue around Stina. That was
Okay. Is it illness then? 'Cause someone I was seeing on my feed that it was an
well.
injury.
There
Just
might
like a
be.
niggle.
I'm not up to speed with all the latest news. I just know that the last game against Reading, there was talk that she was ill, and that's why she was lying on the bench.
Yeah,
But
and I think it's
before we know-
sweeping through a lot of clubs at the moment. A lot
Yeah.
of clubs. So it's that time of year where the weather's changing, and
got a
it's
step
getting
in.
lighter in the evenings, which makes me very
It's good.
excited.
I've had a couple of weeks, so yeah, it's definitely catching. It's an interesting signing. Again, like Matt, Jodie Taylor was sort of she was the star 2017. She didn't really get a look under Hope Powell. It was sort of Mark Sampson who sort of brought her into the team, and she was sort of a late star, if you will. I think she was in a sort of she wasn't a youth product, shall we say, when like Frank Kirby. She was
28 when she made her debut for England.
Exactly, 28, which is ridiculously late to start playing for England. Great goal against Canada. I thought, momentous moment. I love that moment. I know exactly where I was when I heard that goal went in. I was in Cardiff working because the games were in Canada, so they were in late in the morning, and I was working nights down in Cardiff. So we had the radio one, wherever it was, and we were working away, and we were hearing the goals. Her and Bronze's goal flying.
Yeah.
And then made a name for herself at Euro 2017. Who was the top scorer? Not Miedema, not Martins. No, it was Jodie Taylor. But I think Arsenal signed her shortly afterwards, and she was actually in the team. I don't know if it was the whole season or half season, but she was there when Joe Montemurro came, and then she left, and Miedema became the main striker. But yeah, she's won the Champions League, I think, with Lyon. She's spent a lot of time in Australia and America, and she's in her late 30s now. And I think it's generally sort of feeling of, I think she's sort of at the end of her career now. She's not the star striker. If she was a star striker, she's not a Vivian Miedema or anything like that. And I think there is a sort of hesitancy about the signing from the fans. And I think because probably they think we need a star striker. We need a Russo-esque sort of signing, which Jodie Taylor most certainly is not. And people are thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to have Jodie Taylor starting for Arsenal every game. This is going to be a disaster. And I'm not in that school of thought. For me, this is like Jens Lehmann coming on against Blackpool when he's 45 or whatever it was, or Thierry Henry coming back. It's just for is it 8 games left now? Not including the European games. Is it 8? It's only 8 league, which is mad anyway. The fact that it's only 8 games left, but there's only 8 league games left. We just need somebody to give us a bit of protection in the striker position for 8 more games, and then after that we get our best strikers back and we go again. And there's been this mad panic, which I think is totally unwarranted. And I think it's a I'm saying clever signing because I'm sure there's probably better strikers we could have had, but it's a striker who knows Arsenal. She's been here before, knows the players. She's played with most of them for England, and also at Arsenal as well. And I think it's just there. She'll sit on the bench. She might get 5-10 minutes. She'll give us a bit of rotation option with Stina. I mean, as you say, you think Stina might be injured. If she is injured, God, we need her back quickly because we need it.
I'm hoping it's illness. To be honest with you.
The problem is if it
we can't rely on the Arsenal being a striker.
If it's another injury,
Sorry,
how should it? No one else can play up top apart from Caitlin for the game against Bayern. I know we'll go back to that, but it is a bit difficult. I was thinking at the time, if Stina does have an injury, like as been mentioned, who really steps in? You have Caitlin on the one side. Steph's currently out at the moment, so you've got 2 options. You play Noah on the left, Laura on the right, and then you have Katie on that left wing as well. See if that would work. But and then Caitlin goes up top. But again, it's the consistency of the team. Can they build on what we've done over the last couple of weeks? The winning of the Conti Cup, now the 4-0 Reading, the 2-0 against Liverpool. Can we keep on building if this side keeps on having to rotate every 5 minutes?
It does feel like every time we stumble upon a solution, the solution disintegrates in our hands, and we have to build again.
I wouldn't really say that, but I think now more than anything, I was listening to a podcast today with Farrah Williams on it. She was saying there's just something that's just clicked, and I've actually sat there and thought about it for most of today, and it really, honestly, it has. Before that, like during that Conti Cup, something just clicked. And we started being like a team. We were almost there because we've had all those new signings, but it's finally settled down. It's taken about 6 weeks for some of these girls, but something's just clicked, and the Conti Cup has lit the fires for the charge for the rest of the season.
Yeah, 100%. And I think something that will do that. You look at Man City last season; they won the Conti Cup. That drove them on to basically get third place and take it from under Manchester United's noses. But just because we won it, we have to utilise that momentum. Unfortunately, we've had a setback. Steph Catley has been injured. She's out. Foot's in the boot. Unfortunately, not a football boot. And it looks like she's going to be out for quite a few weeks. And obviously, we hope, wish her all the best. We don't know the full details. But
it's just protection measures and nothing else more. If she is to be out, because that means that we're going to be at, as I said, a bit of a sticky situation with left back and left wing.
Yeah, I mean, he's either McCabe at left back and then Pelova come in. But obviously, if Stina's a bit wobbly, it's Ford or Gio or Jodie Taylor as a striker.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gio hasn't been registered for the Champions League.
And Jodie Taylor can't play in that competition either. So all of a sudden, it's...
So I'm hoping Stina is okay, if I'm honest with you. I don't want to believe what social media says, because we know what a rabbit hole that can be.
Yeah.
But it's just what I'm hearing, to be honest with you. And it's probably, I'm hoping it's all talk. There's nothing. The club hasn't said anything. That's the problem.
No.
I haven't said anything about Stina. Nothing about Steph Catley. So it's a bit of like, we're kind of left in the lurch as fans, as far as we know. It's what's going on within the club itself.
We're fumbling in the dark. I mean, it has been the Atkins policy now not to do medical updates. I remember there was a time when every time we got news, we'd say, right, every single player, we're giving a they're out, they're in, they're in. And ever since Arteta's come in, it's like, no, we're not giving anything away. And, you listen to the Jonas podcasts, which sounds like a podcast about life with the Jonas brothers. But you listen to Jonas's podcast. So you listen to Jonas's, interview.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it either. He doesn't reveal anything. They've asked him interviews about he's just player available. No, he is straight up defensive. We're not giving anything away. And fair enough. The opposition doesn't know who's in and who's out. They can't properly plan for us, and I get that. But it is a bit frustrating for us when we're sort of having to guess just based on cryptic Instagram posts and behind the scenes snaps other players post. You think, oh, that person's in a leg brace. And
it's also fans in general, because the snap of Steph Catley was taken by a fan at Meadow Park. I was at that game that night, but I had to sort of leave because it was cold and it was raining. So I wasn't prepared to stand around it more than I needed to.
I did the exact same thing at the Spurs away game. I saw Leah Williamson limping out, and I, tweet saying, "Oh, I think Leah Williamson's done something here," and obviously she had. Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get some gaps filled in on the match preview with Jonas. Hopefully, you get some sort of idea of what's going on. But I have to say, I am absolutely gutted for Gio. Her comments on how excited she was to play in the Champions League. It's kind of been, I know this is going to sound really horrible, it's kind of been snatched from her for this half of the season.
It's kind of a what, sorry?
Been snatched off her.
Oh, snatched, yes. It's the whole Gio signing has been a mess from day one. And some of it is unfortunate. Some of it, I think, is Everton and Arsenal have to hold their hands up. She's a signing that is much praised, and people rave about. She's going to be amazing, which is great. But because there is so much of an unknown about her over here, she's sort of embodied like all our hopes and dreams of what she's going to be, when she probably isn't even that. So we imagine her as being this great player, and that's why when we had our injuries, the fans were like, we need to get Gio back, and she'll be our Beth Mead and our Vivian Miedema, combined, and she'll score 1,000,000 goals. And it's like, no, she's just a really talented, but potential talented young player who's just on loan at Everton to get match day experience. The problem, obviously, she didn't get match day experience at Everton, apart from scoring a goal against Spurs, because she was injured. So now she's come back because we've had a crisis in forwards and we can't get any goals. Now the team is starting to get goals and we don't really need Gio. And then now we've the Champions League picks have come out and we've gone for Sabrina as a goalkeeper over Gio. So we picked 3 goalkeepers, whilst also having 2. I don't think you can drop for 4. We got picked 4 goalkeepers.
Yeah, 4 goalkeepers. Let me see if I can get the list up for you.
I was thinking Sabrina, Marchese, and Manu. Unless,
isn't it Marquise? Sorry.
Yeah,
Marquise,
and also one of our young goalkeepers.
Wow,
sorry, Adam, carry on.
Blind. I know it's just like Hegariso with her tactical genius again of picking multiple goalkeepers. But you've also got likes of Vivian Miedemar and Beth Mead who have to be in the team, but they're not going to play because they're injured. So we are a bit short there. I do feel sorry for Gia, but she is incredibly young. I mean, she's got a whole career ahead of her, and next season, if we don't put her on loan, she'll probably get games in the Champions League. If she'd been with us from the start and she'd been fit, she would have played in that Zurich. I've no doubt she would have played at some. Should have featured.
Oh no, 100%. She would have got minutes in that game, but obviously we carted her straight out into Everton. She's injured, so it's understandable.
It's been a cock up. She's been a child of misfortune this season, unfortunately. If that makes sense. And I think Arsenal could probably handle it better. Maybe Everton could have done as well. There hasn't been much communication around her. At least she is getting some games in the league. But we're only going to see whispers of her talent. And I suppose maybe the only thing I think what Jonas is thinking is, given the level of competition, he probably doesn't think, and I might agree with him in this, Gio is not at the level to compete at this, in this competition, considering, lack of experience, incredibly raw. That could be a mistake. It could have been a competition where she, in Michael Richards style, burst onto the scene and did something absolutely extraordinary and wowed everyone and got us all overly excited. A bit like when Walcott ran the length for the pitch against Liverpool, and we thought he was going to be the next star of this Arsenal team because he did that amazing. That alerted everyone, and then he'd never read anything after that to that level. I do feel sorry for Gio, and I hope that she gets at least some more game times in the league. Maybe has a moment to share something memorable, and then just judge it next season. Wouldn't be surprised if she went out on loan again to, I don't know, Everton or West Ham or Aston Villa or something, get more experience. But it's a bit of a shame, really.
Oh no, definitely.
I've got a different view on all of that because obviously I've seen Gio play. She actually came to us through injury. She had a hip problem at the time, and they said, right, okay, because of this, and this, we'll try and look for a club, try and do the usual thing. We'll try and find a decent club. There was about, as far as I'm aware, there could have been about 4 or 5 clubs that would have been interested. Liverpool would have been one of them. Everton heavily interested because they needed them. Everton heavily relying on the loan system alone because of they've got Aggie Beever-Jones, Jess Park, Emily Ramsey, all sorts of players that they've had to look at because they needed to fill those slots that they already have. And Gio was going to be one of those players that they needed to make sure that she was on the right track from the start of the season towards when she was able to use it. So effectively, when she was to be able to use, I look back to the Merseyside derby at Anfield, which I went to.
You never mentioned it before.
I did. Oh, wow. I don't remember this story.
Yeah, go on, do tell. What happened in the Merseyside derby involving Gio, man?
And just she comes on last 20 minutes as she usually does for Everton, and Liverpool go and get a corner last couple of minutes of the game, and Everton go and head it out. Gio's straight on it, pressing the last defender. I believe it's now Naomi Fahy, sorry, who's got the ball. She presses her, she slide tackles, just parks easy, just able to run onto the end of it, and she goes and scores a solo goal. But that's the type of player that I saw in Gio, and I thought she looked fantastic from the word go. And the fact was that if she was able to do that fully consistently for 90 minutes, or if she was able to get the game time management right, then she'll be fine. obviously it hasn't worked out as planned, and I think perhaps we did see a video as well. I don't know if you've seen it. It's gone a bit on social media of her actually crying after the game against Reading last week, where I have a feeling that she was told then, and that's why she was upset, not the fact that she got 20 minutes. Just to go through the team so that no one is mistaken, we've got Manu, Sabrina, Kaylin Marquise, and Naomi Williams as goalkeepers for this. Then you've got Rafaela, Lotta, Jennifer Beattie, Jen Beattie even, Leah Williamson, Steph Catley, Noel Moritz, Laura, Taya, Goldie, Katie Reed, Kim Little, Frida Marnham, Leah Volti, Katie McCabe, Victoria Plova, Katerina Cool, Molokul, as Adam would like to say, Madison Earl, Beth Mead, Vivian Miedema, Lena Hurty, Caitlin Ford, Stina Blackstenius, and Michelle Agerman. So,
I'm so pleased Michelle's been registered.
Yes.
I know she won't get any minutes, but I'm so pleased with her. I'm like, I know it was only Leeds, but I'm so impressed with her at the moment. For the minutes she has had, I'm impressed with her. And she's only 16
against Leicester when she was called up.
And she scored against Leeds as well. And we talk about the Gio as a youth product. Ajamang is a very talented youth product.
Yeah.
Maybe she will have a moment in the Champions League. She'll come off the bench and do something, and this might be the launch pad. You never know.
She might just be Jonas's wild card against Bayern Munich on the second leg, and we need a winner. You never know.
What was it Sven said about Walcott? It's a gamble, but it's a nice gamble, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be we throw one and she just does a Walcott through the Anfield. Just she runs the length of the Bayern pitch and crosses for a Stina tap in, and suddenly Ajamang's lips. Just to back at you, Matt, what you spoke about with Gio, I thought was fascinating. Some of the stuff she did. Obviously, great goal against Spurs, great press turnover in the Everton derby. We've seen her. I want to say we haven't seen loads, but we've seen her a bit at Arsenal, some sub appearances. She's come off the bench. I think she started the FA Cup game against Leeds. But did we ever see in that time? Did we ever see anything from her substantial that thought she deserves to be in the team ahead of anybody? I'm Banks, I only see half the pitch most of the time. I didn't see anything that jumped out, or maybe jumped out and thought, wow. And I wouldn't expect her to, because she's only just arrived in the team. She's playing.
Adam, the signal's really bad.
Maybe left her behind.
I don't know if you caught half of that. It just kind of missed a chunk of that. Matt, did it come through okay on your end? Did you hear what Adam was saying?
I think what Adam was trying to say is that with all the cameos and everything, the Gio is not really part of the Jonas puzzle as of the moment, which I think is the best way to probably describe the situation. It's a very odd, if you look at, trying to think of any time really we've brought someone in and they've had injury issues. I'd probably say it seems a bit harsh, but maybe Marlon Goots. She was the understudy to Leah Volti. She ended up with an ACL and she ended up finishing her career because of it. And she was so young at the time. She's now 22, I believe, 23.
Wow.
And she retired at the end of last season when she was playing back in her hometown in her home country.
She's completely out the game. She's completely out of the game now.
I don't think stop. Oh right, you mean Marlon Goot? I thought you were talking about Gio. Then I was like, no, she's not.
Oh, God, I thought you were talking about Marlon Goot being 22 and retiring. I thought you were saying that's what she. Sorry, no, I was going to say you actually. One of my thing is we've heard Palova and Monaco and clips of the great things, moments they've had. That's got us. Oh, that was close. That was exciting. I may sound like a bit of not to be nasty exactly, but I haven't been wowed by Gio yet. So and maybe we want to be wowed by Gio because we put so much hope in her, and we're imbuing maybe, and we'll see something she'll just think, oh, she deserved it because she did this. I just haven't seen anything to.
I do really think you need to give her a chance.
Oh, I'm not saying we don't give her a chance.
It's a case of minutes for me. I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but you need to give her a chance. And Matt's seen it firsthand what she can do.
Yeah.
Even sitting in the ground, do you know what I mean? Like, it's very different sitting in the ground and then like watching it on TV. Two different things. But
she's got
100%
the ability. It's about whether or not she can thrive in the right environment. So if it's not going to be, I think she'll probably have a 3-year contract, so 2 years at the end of this summer. So that's plenty of her to relax a little bit. It's almost like this 6 months. I would use it as like a stepping stone.
Setting an in period sort of thing.
So I know you guys have been there at the ground a little bit more, so you can tell me a little bit more about Catherine Cole. But she's someone that I see as someone that she hasn't really wowed me as much. Maybe when I looked at the cup final when she came on, I didn't really see much. And that's the same situation. I think this is the problem when we have these players. It's a bit different when you've got someone like a Sabrina who's come in and she's wowed us from day one because she's so different compared to Manu.
Yeah.
But it's different when they're only getting small amounts here and there and everywhere. I think it's going to take time, and I think a lot of fans are a bit antsy because of the situation with Beth and with Viv. They want everything now, and this is the issue I have with the Jodie Taylor thing as well. Is that a lot of Arsenal fans have basically pulled out the toys out the pram, gone, I don't want her. She was useless last time, and this, that, and the other. And I'm just sitting, and
that sounds a little bit familiar, doesn't it? As a general, the thing is, it's not everybody. It's certain sections of the fan base.
Exactly.
And
pushing that panic button, but as Mr. Jones said, don't worry, Mr. Mannering, don't panic.
Exactly.
So don't panic, people, because it's not the end of the world if it happens. But we've got some good players. It's okay if in 6 months' time it's going to be a different squad because some of these players aren't going to be here. Some of them will be given different roles. Some of them might not be here entirely. We're not sure what's going to happen with Jen Beattie. Contracts finishing. Some others got contracts finishing as well. So it's going to be an interesting one in the summer. But let's leave that for now. I'm jumping ahead of the curve at the moment because it's essentially 3 months to go. But we've got a season, 8 games. Let's see what these players
World Cup too as well at the moment as well. All that talent on display. Hopefully, Jonas will have his shopping basket ready if we need anybody. Get him to England. Come play WSL.
Before I forget about the Jodie Taylor thing, before I completely forget, Marta is over 40 and she's still playing at the highest level.
Oh, wow.
The Brazilian national time.
Yeah, she's absolutely. Do you know what? I've only ever seen YouTube videos of her and she looks absolutely incredible. And are you sure she's 40?
She's over 40. I believe she's 42.
She I'm pretty sure, Matt might confirm, she played in the European final that we won. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I believe so. She was
side.
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow.
2007 against Arsenal in the European final. Yeah. No, I think I've always said this season we're not going to win the title, and I'm not saying because I don't want to win the title. I just don't think we will. I'd love it if we did. But the goal is European football and getting to Europe next season, and we could have done it before we signed Jodie Taylor. And does Jodie Taylor put us in a better position to do it? Yes, it gives us depth. So for me, it's a great signing. Gio, I think it's all come too soon, too fast for her. Molekul and Palova have experience. Palova's played in European Championships. She's played at that high level.
I would like to forget that game. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's one of those games I'd like to forget because she upset a lot of Arsenal players and she upset us. So I'm going to pretend that game doesn't exist, but I do get where you're coming from in terms of experience. But that game doesn't exist.
For her initiation, instead of a song, she had to go
revenge
with Leah in a background.
Oh, no. Oh my god.
The Walcott analogy.
Oh, and you've frozen again. You've gone robot.
Oh, tell me when I've unroboted myself.
Okay, done. You're good. I heard Theo Walcott 2006.
Yeah, 6. So in that, he didn't play a single game for Arsenal. He was on the bench a few times, but never played a game. He played his game the next season, and I think that's what it'll be with Gio. I think we're lucky we even get to see a window into seeing her play, but I think it'll be next season, and I think that's probably why she's not the Champions League. I think she'd hardly feature, and in that sense, it's not much point. So no, I think Sabrina's got it ahead of her. She's Sabrina, and just got to hope for the best on Tuesday.
The one thing I do have to question with Jonas as well is when you've got such a quality goalkeeper in Sabrina,
Yeah.
Why do you also have Kayla McKees there? Because is it the
Ooh.
experience, or is
You
it?
can't take. I don't think you can pull players out of your squad, because if you could, he would have taken Miedemar out. So he's brought McKees in probably because he couldn't get
And he
Sabrina
probably
in
would have
the
took Steph out if she's out for a while as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
That was the option, is that if she was injured, they can take them out, because if they're injured for long term, they can be put in, and then say a Geo will go in straight away.
I would have taken, if that was the case, you would have obviously taken Miedemar out and Mead out, because then
Yeah.
maybe Mead, but definitely not. You've taken Miedemar out simply because there's not a cat and hell's chance she's going to play again for any game in any of the season. So I don't know. But anyway, what's on this done? The squad's been out.
Win the Champions League. These are the 25 that are going to get medals at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Actually, imagine if he won it and Miedemar didn't get a medal. That would be kind of naff.
Please.
You're putting thoughts in.
Do you know what? If anybody wants to go and have a go at him on Twitter, I am not going to defend that. I'm sorry. I just can't. I mean, you were winding up the Man United fans the other day, and I was just like, it was funny to watch, don't get me wrong, because they were arguing amongst themselves, but
Man United fans.
we all know. We know.
Really
But anyway, massive game.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's I'm saying yes.
Very exciting. Vic Akers Wonderland goes on tour without Lottie, of course, unfortunately. But and it's certain someone's first European tour, which I'm very excited for him. Matt, how excited are you?
I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to spoil things, but just to put this into context, the last time I ever actually had a holiday abroad was 2013. Wow. That's how long ago it was. So that's not counting like tournaments or anything like that. Like tournaments abroad or anything like that. That is literally going to be my first time abroad for a long time. So also to be at Munich, when that draw was announced, I wanted Bayern Munich to begin with anyway, because I've never been to Germany, and I thought that it'll be a good contest, because obviously last time around these two got knocked out in the quarterfinals, us to Wolfsburg and them to was it No, it wasn't PSG.
Barcelona.
Barcelona knocked out Wolfsburg, because I remember that was a record-setting game, wasn't it?
Well, Bayern was on the other side of the draw.
Okay.
So it would have been Juventus, Lyon, or PSG.
I think it was again. They went 2-1 up. I'm pretty sure Bayern won. It was one of their first 2-1, and then lost their second leg. Or no, that was Juventus, wasn't it? They won the first 2-1. It must have been PSG. Anyway, they went out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. So essentially, we've got a chance here to show how much we've improved over the last year. And we can use last year's experience. I mean, we won't delve into what happened last time we were in Germany too much, because I think a lot of people will have PTSD if you're listening to this or watching this. Let's just say Munich.
I don't have a feeling Adam's going to give us a reminder with the look on his face right now. Sorry, Matt, continue.
I just cursed the German border guards for denying Volti entry into Germany to allow us to. Yeah, she was turned away. She couldn't join up with the team. That's why we didn't have Volti in the team against Wolfsburg. There was some shenanigans that happened.
I remember.
I don't know what the law. Yeah, there was something funny happened with the team. There was some rule. Volti had gone somewhere. I don't know the full details, but basically Volti didn't start in the midfield against Wolfsburg in the second leg, and so they just played through us for the entire game. I mean, as Matt will attest to, there's no Volti, there's no party.
Yeah, we know. Don't we, Matt?
No Volti, makes me happy or make me feel this way.
Yeah, I love that song. That used to be Laurent Koscielny's song. It's now Leo Volti's, and it will always be Leo Volti's.
This time around, though, this squad has got me believing again, and I think when you looked at, I can't believe I keep on going back to that Conti Cup, but the fact that 1-0 down after 2 minutes, you've got the fans going uproar, come on, we can do this, and I think that's what they're hoping for. I mean, 10,000 tickets sold. This is going to be one of the lowest sold of the Champions League. Unfortunately, the blue lot have managed to sell almost their entire allocation of the bridge that's falling down. 22,500
Hang on,
pounds.
where are they playing? Where are
They're
Fulham
over
Blue
in
playing?
France. They're Lyon. They're
No,
playing
but
Lyon in France.
Are they
Stamford.
playing that? Are they playing the home leg at Kingsmeadow or Stamford?
Stamford.
Oh, they are doing Stamford. Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, well, because we play at the Emirates on Wednesday night. They play on Thursday night at Stamford Bridge.
This is a call to all Arsenal fans. We need to step up because 10,000 is great, but we can do a lot better.
To be honest with you, I couldn't get my usual seats in my usual corner. I had to move to block 7. So I'm normally in 12 or 13. So I've moved around. So there is 10,000 tickets. The highest I've seen is 7,000 people. The fact that we got to 10,000 is brilliant. It is progress.
We got 12,000, I think, for the Barcelona game, but nothing comparable since. So that I'm really happy with that as a figure.
It's just about consistently getting all these.
So our record in Europe away from home. Always what, sorry?
It's just about consistently getting these numbers now. I want to see. I mean, Wednesday night Champions League, you're paying £8. Sorry, Adam.
Why wouldn't you? I was gonna say, it's right. Why? Yeah, if you came to Sporting Lisbon, watch the Sporting Lisbon game, and it ended sadly. Then, if you came to that game, there's no reason why you can't come again not this week, obviously, but next week for a much cheaper price to watch Champions League football at Emirates Stadium of Arsenal. You know, I understand the argument people who would normally go to watch women's game, but they can't because it's a late night and kids and all that stuff. But if you're an everyday goer who goes to these late European nights, you're an adult, you go to these games, you're happy to go to them, and you're free. There is no reason why not, unless you just don't support the Arsenal women. And for me, as an Arsenal fan, that's scandalous, but that's just my opinion, and I will die on that hill.
The thing is, if you support the Arsenal, you should support the whole club.
Absolutely.
I've started going to academy games. They're completely free at Meadow Park. You just rock up, take a seat. I was sitting a few seats down from the big friendly German. Watching the under-21s against Liverpool, which was pretty cool. And we had what's his name? Salah.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
As well. He was 2 rows in front of me, just chilling, like watching the game. So
did you tell him to get back in his box?
Oh dear, yes. So I'll now get off my soapbox and actually talk about some football.
This is what we're here for. Let's go.
Exactly. Our record is actually quite good in Europe this season. We're unbeaten away from home, which when you compare to last season, we actually lost, I think, 3 games away from home. We were terrible.
I mean, the last one was 9-1 against Zurich.
Yeah, against Zurich.
We had that the pinnacle of the season was the 5-1 at Lyon.
Yeah.
And the other one was I've forgotten.
1-0 in Juve and 1-0 at Ajax playoff. Of course, the one game we didn't win was the one I travelled to. Was the Juve game.
If we don't win tomorrow, I know who I'm going to blame.
Well, I was also there for Ajax.
Note.
So, like Matt, I had been abroad for like a decade, and then I said, no, I'm gonna go abroad for the Ajax game, and meeting up with the Arsenal fans there, and watching the game with the Arsenal fans in the cage in the rain, with the supporters club, was amazing. And then Juventus was just on another level. I mean, I've never been. I went on my own. I went through on my own. Stayed on my own. Went to the Arsenal fans, and it's amazing. I know there's less of us, but it sort of makes it even better because we're even a much closer sort of group. And it was an amazing experience going to Juventus's ground in the Allianz Arena.
The Allianz is incredible. It is a great stadium.
We're going to 2 Allianz arenas. We're going to the Juventus one, and now we're doing the Bayern one. But Juventus game, I love it.
I've done that. Tick that off my list. I do like going to that ground, Bayern Munich's ground. It is a nice one. Like the surrounding area is lovely as well. But I think the last time I was there, Arsenal won really badly, and it was half term in February. I was due to fly back in a few days. I flew back that night, and I left everything I had in the hotel with the person I travelled with. I was like, no, I'm going home.
Was this the 5-1 or was this 2-0? Was it the 5-1?
It's
You've had a
5-1.
few of those. Well, hopefully we don't repeat the trick. Hopefully we embrace the spirit of 2013 and get a bold, brave 2-0 win. But certainly defensively we've been mostly okay. I think we've only our worst game was actually the Ajax game in the playoff, the one that we obviously all forget about. But apart from that, we've looked defensively okay, and that was when we had Lottie and Catley at the back. As a makeshift. So I would hope for the same. I hope we can pull off for something similar like we did in the Conti Cup final. I think it's going to be a magnificent occasion, meeting up with the Arsenal fans, having a few drinks beforehand, taking in the sights of a city when we can. So yeah, I mean, hopefully more of these will to come. And I say to any Arsenal fan, and I met Arsenal fans there who travel for both.
A lot of them do travel like every time.
The real heroes. We get trouble. Sorry, man.
No, I was trying to just explain. So, like, there's Brian from the who's part of the committee. He's there at every game. It works out as he's just over 600 games that he's gone consistently there, home and away. So he was there for the game against Koga last year. It was only about 3 Arsenal supporters from Arsenal. From England, even the rest were all Denmark. It's just important that I think we spread out as much as possible. We're going to have German gunners there as well, which will be an interesting one as well. I'm looking forward to it as well because this is a chance to like spread your palate a little bit as well with like food and things like that. You don't want to keep on going to the same old stuff. So,
no.
But
as nice as Meadow Park is.
Yes. As nice as the double cheeseburger is, Adam?
Oh, from Chloe's, 100% recommend. 5-star TripAdvisor. But what you said about the German fans, Matt, is absolutely correct. Because when we went to the Netherlands, we got to meet the Dutch fan base. They're Italian Arsenal fans. We went to Juventus, and I know for a fact there are. Well, we've met one of them already. The Conti Cup final. There are fans living in Germany who are passionate, not just passionate Arsenal fans, passionate Arsenal women fans. For me, that is incredible. And now this is their home game, and we get to meet them. We talk to them on Twitter. We see them occasionally when they get to fly over. But now we're coming into their world. So there's lots to look forward to. And people like Brian, a chap called John, who I met over there, who does a lot of stuff on fixtures. He goes to all these games. He travels over, and just amazing. Yeah, really good. And if you are a European traveller for Arsenal and you follow the men's team around, and hope next really good competition. Touch wood, nothing confirmed. Hope. Take the time to follow the Arsenal women as well. If we get into Europe next season, fingers crossed, touch wood, nothing confirmed, because it's even more fun because you are part of an even more exclusive group. I cannot stress that enough. And I think the Bayern Munich game, win or lose, is going to be an amazing occasion. I can't wait to fly over and meet up with everyone. And hopefully it'll be a really good occasion. And hopefully we win. That'd be nice.
I'm looking forward to it as well. It's not just like we're seeing. It's almost like a England versus Germany mini game, if you will, because if you look, you got a lot.
Except they've got the English star on there, so I can't really agree with that.
Well, no, it's just in terms of you got obviously Leah Williamson captain. You've got some of Bayern's team from Germany as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of internationals on both sides
in the bits.
Oh yeah, no, that is true.
It's just I think it's going to be a very interesting, very close game. If I'm honest. I was reading through the analysts as well, who do a lot of stats, and they were saying that both the midfielders for both these teams offer incredible dynamism in line breaking runs from midfield, inclusive passing, or having a profile that can protect the back line. Georgia Stanway, joint scorer for them in the competition. Clara Ball also has 3 as well. Ball also has a team high of 3 assists.
Wow.
Ball's most involved in most open attacking play sequences. Bayern with 35 in open attacking sequences. So it's almost like this midfield. If we are to win this game, the midfield's going to be integral to part of it, because how can we stop some of these players? You've got Sydney Lohman, you've got Ball herself, you've got Sarah Zadrazil as well, who this team. I'll throw in a Georgia Stanway in there as well, and it's just that three versus our three of Freedom Arnhem, Kim Little and Leah Lottie. Fingers crossed, touching wood, spin around 3 times, everything you want to make sure that she actually is on that pitch this time around.
And they let her into the country. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping she travels ahead of the team, so in case there's any problems.
If not, Leah,
I know that sounds really awful.
But you can pop your
I
head.
can't be having that again.
You can be my carry-on.
Yeah.
But Leah, we'll put if need be, we'll put Leah Williams in midfield because we know Lotte Wibbermoy loves the goal against Germany, and hopefully she can against our position. Yeah, I think. I mean, what I'm looking forward.
Hopefully that goal can be replicated without Tobin Heath, but you know.
Doing a missed kick, free kick. No, it was assist. It was definitely assist. I think we're all looking forward to the Geraldra Stanway, Katie McCabe rematch. I think that's obviously we know those two have history. It is going to be a fascinating lineup. I mean, Bayern and Wolfsburg are the two sort of big hitters in the Frauen Bundesliga, and I think Wolfsburg are probably ahead at the moment. But Bayern are a decent outfit. They beat Barcelona. We should not forget they actually beat Barcelona in the group stage and were from points. It was very marginal. They came second, so they should not be taken lightly. And these are the games we want to play in. I mean, I love the WSL to bits, but I think it's well documented that
you want to play with the biggest teams in Europe.
Yeah,
that's what we're all here for. I mean, Barcelona have picked up Lucy Bronze. They've taken Kira Walsh from us.
Yeah,
Bayern Munich have taken Stanway. I know they're all our England stars, but these are the players we want to watch as English fans.
Yeah.
As well as everyone else. Doesn't matter their nationalities, really, if I'm honest with you, but we know what these teams hold. We know the talent that is sitting there. And it's just all exciting. Even if Arsenal do go out, I will watch this to the final.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after last year.
Oh,
I was like, no, I'm sticking with this whole competition. I want to watch as much as possible. Like tomorrow night, I will be watching our game, but then I want to see how Roma do against Barcelona. That's going to be a juicy tie.
Very tasty.
So,
but
I want to see what happens. Do you know what I mean? It's quarterfinals. You get 2 games of football a night.
Yeah.
3 days.
On zone free of charge. But what I was trying to swing at is this team doesn't get a proper examination every day in the WSL. That's just, and unfortunately, that's not maybe an offence, but Chelsea will properly test us. Man City will, but
United occasionally. United occasionally.
Exactly. Whereas when you go to the Champions
did you just
League,
say about 5 minutes?
Yeah. We get the what a tired chance that was. But Phil, but in the Champions League, those are the teams, the Barcelonas, the Bayern Munichs, the Lyons, the Juventuses, they are the teams that will stretch this team and really it will expose its flaws and allow us to express our skills and our goodness, our skills, shall we say, our pros. So these are the real tests, and this is what we need on a regular basis, and that's why I'm really excited for this game. If we lose, again, I think it's good if we win and good if we lose. If we win, that's great. It shows that we're kicking on and evolving. If it's lose, we'll easily be able to see. Jonas will go, right, we lost because of this and this, and it will help us going forward. I've no doubt that the losses we had at Wolfsburg last season, we won out the Champions League, but they would have picked apart the pre-match, post-match and gone, right, we went wrong there, we went wrong there. We need to sort out why we could have played in the Wolfsburg game, but also in the Barcelona games as well. We say, right, we need to improve here. We need best defenders here. We need to work out our pressing, we work on movement, and you only get those proper examinations in this game. So yeah, I'm hoping it will, even if it's a lose and we go out, it will inspire us to be even better next season.
It'll be a bit like when we played Chelsea back to back for the Continental Cup final. We lost the FA Cup, but we turned up for the final. So
exactly. And we saw this season. We beat Lyon, like our first group stage game. Oh, bless you. We beat Lyon right out the first group stage game. And I was like, wow, we are a level above. Yes, Lyon had injuries, but that was a proper European performance. So we all know this team has got it in them. And it's up to, and again, like the Conti Cup, it's up to them to believe they can do it again. And if they do it again in Germany and have something to take back to the Emirates Stadium, well, it could be incredible. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely, it could. If we do pull it off, we could be selling more tickets, and that is an advantage.
If we go, even if we're losing, we could. If we're 1-0 down, and it's like, come on, we need our support for a couple. We spin it, as long as we're still in touch. Come the second leg, I think we that could be something to aspire by. We just got to spread the word and get people to come along.
Oh no, definitely 100%. Matt, have you got anything to add to that at all?
I don't really want to call it a Clash of the Titans, but it's almost what it is.
It is. Do you know what? For me, I've got to agree with you though. The quarterfinal rounds, they are Clash of Titans. If you look at the 8 teams, maybe
Chelsea.
I might be discounting Roma just a little bit because they're a team to watch at the moment. But the rest of them, they're the names you expect to be there.
Doing so well in their league at the moment, top of the league, and really for their debut to actually be even in the knockouts is a huge achievement. And a lot of people have probably underestimated them. I expect Barcelona to underestimate them when they go over to the Stadio Olimpico in Rome in the next leg. But
they're Roma at home first leg.
See, there we go. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think we've got. You know what? I'm going to call it a festival of football now because that's essentially what it is.
Definitely.
And it'll be interesting to see how everyone does, especially Roma against a team that's so big as Barcelona.
Well,
I think their ticket sales says it all. To be honest with you, I know we're not fans, but their ticket sales are incredible.
Mm-hmm. And it does feel like these teams are, apart from the Barcelona-Roma, which we know is a mismatch for obvious reasons, and we wish Roma all the best and hope they can do us all a favour, the world of football a favour. All the other ties, you'd say the teams are pretty much evens. I think we could probably all agree. I think Lyon, European champions against WSL champions Chelsea, Arsenal and Bayern, 2 teams competing to be at the top. Euro stars on both sides. PSG versus Wolfsburg, again, low talent on both sides there. German champions Wolfsburg, plenty of German international. Although rumour has there was an announcement that one of their players, I don't know if it was Oberdorf. Has just gone off with a major knee injury recently, just today.
Oh, no.
Fears are it's the dreaded 3 letters. We don't know yet. It's just she's gone off with a knee injury and looked in very, very lot of pain. And I think Pop came on for her. It's not good at all.
Especially with the World Cup round the corner.
Yeah, and she was amazing in the Euros as well. And so
agreed.
We wish her all the best.
No,
but those 3 ties are that they could easily be a semi-final. They're that quality of opposition, and I think if you can't get a game, tune into the Zone and watch, and you will not be disappointed. It's going to be a spectacular few 2 weeks. Can't wait to get started.
Okay, right. Just before we wrap up, I'm going to go into score predictions for all 4 games. So I'm going to leave the Arsenal game till last.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the Roma Barcelona. I think that's the juiciest tie, apart from obviously us. That for me is the juiciest tie out of the lot.
Yeah.
And I think Roma are going to pull something off. So I'm going to go for a Roma win.
Are we we're just doing first legs?
Yep, just first legs for today.
Okay, I'm going to go 4-0 Barcelona.
Wow. Okay. Even though Roma are flying at the top of their league?
Yeah, well, we played Barcelona, and what happened? We lost 4-0. So I'm going by that logic.
Unfortunately, the weather didn't bother them like it usually does the men's game. So, Anyway, Matt?
I think it's going to be very open. I think it's going to be one of those games where Barcelona don't know how to approach this game, so they're almost into the unknown.
They've sort of put the wild card out of the draw, really.
No Frozen references meant in that. But who do I think Roma are going to give it a good go. They know they've got a hard chance. They're defensively solid. They give Juventus a good go whenever they play each other. It's usually like a 1-0 or 2-0 sort of game. I think actually, funny enough, tonight they won like 4-0 tonight.
Oh, so nice.
It does. It's just meeting expectations. Essentially, they're in the same boat as we were last year because they haven't done that. So I think Rome will get a goal. But I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to say Barcelona are going to win it 3-2.
Oh, that's gonna be
okay.
That's a goal fest. Well, I'm actually going to vote for that scoreline because I love a good game of football as a neutral.
if that's the scoreline, Roma will have done incredibly well, and we would take our hats to them. That would be it. Unfortunately, Barcelona aren't known for their romanticism of the opposition. Unfortunately, they are ruthless. So I would say hats off to Roma if that came through. I'd go, yeah, fair play.
Yeah. Okay, right. PSG and Wolfsburg. I'm gonna go with the Wolfsburg win. Purely because of what happened to us last season. I'm not even that.
Is it Wolfsburg?
PSG are at home. Yeah.
So, right. Okay. Here, I'll go 2-1 PSG.
Ooh. Matt?
You know what, Adam? I was going to go the same. I think.
Is it you? Have you both talked before the show? And it's let's gang up on Lottie and go for opposite whatever she says. I normally get this wrong anyway, but
it's going to be so tight because PSG have got some great players, but they're not top tier European yet. If I'm honest, it's almost like their men's team. If I'm honest, they've got some amazing talent, but they're all bark but no bite. They haven't got that bite yet. Imagine if they had a Chelsea Australian player, that might actually help them out a little bit. But beside the point, I think I'll go for a draw because I think this one's going to be the most interesting. I might go with 1-1.
Okay, it's interesting.
Lies.
And then I don't really need to answer the next one because I know who I want to win this game between Lyon and Chelsea. But we did beat Lyon 5-1 in their own backyard, so I think it's going to be an interesting tie between them, if I'm honest with you. I really don't know what way this game's going to go. Matt?
I'm going to go with Lyon. I could be really cheeky even more now and say Danny van der Donk's going to get a hat-trick.
Oh, please. Please. Show your loyalty, man.
I'm really hoping it's going to... To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Lyon just blow them away. They've got so many players coming back from injuries now.
Yeah.
Ellie Carpenter, I believe, is on her way back.
Yeah.
And there's so many players that they had out, even with injuries. Actually, that does remind me of the very funny video of actually Ellie Carpenter on her crutches and just speeding towards the rest of the team in the final when they won it. But I imagine if they can do that to Barcelona with half their team out, imagine what they could do with a fully fit squad, which they're going to have going into it, or almost fully fit squad. They're just going to be blown out the water. I don't think they'll know what hit them, even though we might not like her and she likes to analyse everything left, right, and centre. She won't know. She won't know what to do. She'll be stuck like she was in that final a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So a score?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll up it. I'll go 4-0.
Ooh. Wow. Well, can I chuck a Buchanan red card in there, please? She's got away with it twice.
Yeah.
She gets away with
those
it.
clips on those hills. She's got away with it twice. So I'm going to take her for a red card because the European refs don't take no nonsense.
If Buchanan gets sent off early in that game, I can see it being a 4-0 to Lyon. I want Chelsea to get battered 10-0 and, basically get done to them because it's the first leg's in Lyon, isn't it? So
yes, it's away.
I want Lyon to do to them what we did to Lyon, basically. But Chelsea are the biggest sports in Europe, as we know. So I'm kind of torn on this one because obviously they've been to France already. They went to PSG and won 1-0 with that Millie Bright goal. But we also know that in key games, especially in Europe, they choked. They lost 4-0 away at Wolfsburg. They lost 4-0 in the final against Bayern. They lost the final. Just throw that in.
Champions of Europe. I've never seen that.
That's quite right. So I'm kind of torn on this particular one. I think they played Lyon before, and I think last time they did, they only lost 2-1. And that was back in 2019. I think this will be a 1-1 draw because I think Chelsea are if let's say Buchanan doesn't play and they play Millie Bright and Magda Eriksson and all that, they are defensively strong enough that they can do a shutout. If they were to get an early goal and go full defensive, they could, like with PSG, they could grind out a 1-0 win. But I think Lyon have got enough quality; they could get an equaliser. And I think it's going to be one of those frustrating games where Lyon will have chances and just not take them, and will be roaring at the heavens. Why aren't Lyon running away with this? So I want them to get battered off the park, but. Based on the suffering I've had as an Arsenal fan playing Chelsea, I could see this being a 1-1 and Sam Kerr bundling a jammy goal with like 10 minutes to go to change the complexion of the tie, and that's so.
Yeah.
I'm a 1-1 draw.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting, boys. So that is it for tonight. Thank you, everybody.
We're not predicting the Arsenal game. Hang on.
Oh, that is absolutely criminal.
Sorry,
that is criminal.
I've
How
got
can
to
I
throw an
forget?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right. Since I've got corrected by Adam. Adam can go first. Bayern Arsenal.
1-0. I'll go 1-0. I think I'm going to be like the Juventus game. I think it's going to be because it's going to be tight. I think both sides will miss chances. I think it'll be a close game, and I think we'll, like with the Wolfsburg at home last season, I think the tie will be in the balance when we go back to the Emirates, and that's a good thing. If it isn't, if it's a 3-0 or 5-0, then it's going to be a bit of a bummer. But I think a 1-1 result in Germany is by no means a bad result, and I'd be happy with that. I'll throw to Matt. What do you think?
I think whoever wins the battle in the midfield, that's going to be the main thing. If it's a case of who's going to get the most yellow cards between us, I think it'll be obviously Georgia and Katie. But, maybe that might be an idea for Katie to be playing left back to start, maybe just so she can wind up Georgia Stanway, get that early yellow card, so then that disrupts them so much in midfield. I can imagine that being happening, but I just have a feeling that this game is so open that it could quite easily just be a goal in it, like a 1-0 to either side. But I think I would be happy with a 1-1 if I'm honest, and then to come back into considering that we've only got over 150 in that stadium, it might be the loudest area of that stadium, if I'm honest. And then they come back, maybe the fans can cheer them on to victory.
And they'll know if it's in the balance, that could be a bigger draw for bigger attraction for fans. If they know if there's a chance to beat Bayern Munich at the Emirates. I mean, we haven't had that for either team since 2015. Thank you to Giroud's hand and Bellerin's sheer pace. But it'd be nice, an idea of avenging those 5-1s and to experience a Bayern win. I never mentioned this, and I should have mentioned this right from the top. So the Emirates Cup post 2019 was a double header, and the first part of the header was Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. And that was the first Arsenal women's game I attended.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, and this feels like very much a full circle. We lost that 1-0, and sadly, that was Dan Carter's last ever game for Arsenal. Tabby came also.
She's moved down to Brighton now, isn't she? She's still at Brighton, or she retired?
Now she's at Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tabea came also played for Arsenal that game as well, and sadly retired that season due to injury. So yes, it was a bit of a sad day, that one. And I do feel that this tie feels like almost a full circle, sort of certainly from my personal experience, but also maybe with a lot of these teams, a chance to maybe. I know it was only a friendly, but again, it's a chance to show how much have they improved since then with their new.
It's a chance to showcase.
And for
Manu, the team, really.
And for Manu, it's a case of going back home because I believe she came from Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So it's chance to also.
I actually saw a really interesting picture over on the socials. Did you know Viv Miedema and Mana Rivarucci played together at Munich?
Yes, they did.
I didn't know that. I found that out like the last couple of days. I was like, oh my gosh. But Mana hasn't aged. That's the scary part. So she has not aged.
Viv,
and it scares me.
Viv and Lisa played together at Bayern Munich. That's when they first met, and they both came to Arsenal at the same time. Yeah. And they met Mana while she's at Bayern Munich as well. But we've had a history of pinching ex-Bayern players as well. Yeah. Manu as well.
Which makes a change.
Victoria Schneiderbeck.
Charlotte Beck, yeah, another one, ex-Bayern. So we've got a lot of ex-Bayerns in our. Jill Roord, I think, was also was a Bayern player as well.
Yeah.
So yes, but thankfully, well, I don't know. We should be looking more into their team when we play them and think who we're going to get this summer.
Maybe we can pitch Georgia back.
Yeah, take Georgia over. Yes, I'm sure the Arsenal fans would love to have Georgia Stanway within their ranks. I'm sure they will go down very, very well.
Like a lead balloon?
I'm led to believe.
That would be a real punch in the face for City if that happened.
No, that'd be.
He's got to sign Kieran Walsh after that, and then really.
Oh, that is one player I'd love to see in an Arsenal shirt. But there's no way we're pinching her from Barcelona. No. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's not.
So, anyway, now if we're officially finished.
Yes, now all bases are covered.
After I've been told off by Mr. Salter. So again, this is a little over an hour. Not normally this long, but there's a lot to talk about, especially with the latest news on the club. Thank you for tuning in, boys. Thank you for joining me tonight. And have an amazing time over in Germany. And I will see you both when you come back. Mm-hmm. We've got a special guest joining us for our next episode. All will be revealed. Really excited for her to come and join us. So it's going to be really, really fun. And thank you for everybody who has joined us tonight. Watch this back, I should say. If you did enjoy it, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Good night.
We'll make sure we bring you back something, that's for sure.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, it'd be good scoreline would be good.
I'll be the same.
All right, good night, boys.
Night.